Hi, if your goal is to reach over 500 on SAT Math, you're in the right place. Most students think they need to master everything to get there. They don't. You just need a few solid foundational concepts. Today, we're locking in one of the main ones. Now, here's Mazen Haidar.
Hi. In this video, we are going to talk about linear equations and functions. And also in the next video, also we're going to talk about linear equations and functions. But what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to limit my talk about algebra. While in the next video, we are going to talk about it from our problem perspective. So let's go ahead and start. All right, here what we have a question coming from the question bank of the College Board. We are given the function, it's a linear function, and they're asking us what the value of f20. If you notice here, we have fx, meaning x equal 20. For this question, we are going to use this rule. Basically, what we are going to do, we're just going to take x equal 20 and substitute it here. And when we do that, we end up with f20 equal 69. 20 over 10 is going to be 2, plus 7 is 14, plus 55 is going to be 69. Now I'm going to use the same equation here, or the same function given to us, to solve a few other type of problems. Here, what's given to us is the value of fx. Fx is equal 20. Here we have f20, meaning x equal 20. Here, fx equal 20, meaning the y is equal to 20. And here what we are going to use, this rule here. Notice this rule says it's a challenging task. Actually, it's challenging task if we're not talking about linear equations. Now we are talking about linear equation. So we are fortunate now that the solution is going to be really easy. We simply just put fx equal 20. We substitute it here, all right? As we see here, 20 equals 7 over 10x. And we solve for x. We take this 55, put it there. It's going to be negative 35 times 10, negative 350, divided by 7. We are going to end up with x equal negative 50. Now they're asking, what's the slope of the graph of this function? Well, here what we need to do, we need to go to these rules here. Generally speaking, if x equal mx plus c, m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. So basically what we are going to do, we are going just to get the answer directly from what's given to us, 7 over 10. So 7 over 10 is the slope. Now, if here they are asking about the y coordinate of the y-intercept, where they are asking for c here, I mean. So c is going to be 55. If you don't want to remember that c is 55, what you can do is very easy. C is the value of y when x equals 0. So all what you need to do, rewrite this and make what we have here x equals 0, and you find the value of y, or the c. So here y equals 7 over 10 times 0, because c per definition is the value of y when c equals 0. So you'll end up with y equal 55. This is what we got here. Finally here, what is the x coordinate of the x-intercept of the graph? Okay, here we have the definition here. The x-intercept is the value of x when y equals 0. So all what we need to do is just rewrite the equation, and we put y equals 0, and we solve for x. And when we do that, we end up with this answer. All right, now I need to pause for a second and talk about why do I use c instead of b, even though all the math books use the standard y equal mx plus b. Well, I still don't understand why they are using the letter B to donate the y-intercept. And I'm going to tell you my reasoning. I hope you are going to be convinced with my reasoning, because I'm going to use it all over. And this is what I'm thinking about. It's given to us for the second degree equation, y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. And the c here is the y-intercept for the graph of this function, which is second degree equation. Okay? Now, I'm going to use the same letter here, c, for the linear equation, because also whatever we have here, the constant we have here, that in the books they call it b, I call it c, also is the y-intercept of this line. So now it's easy for you, if you have this, visual memory, just to relate that c here and c here both have the same meaning, which is the y-intercept is the value of y when x equals 0. Another thing, I use the color code here. You see m and A have something in common. They determine something about the shape of the graph of the function. Here, M, if it's positive, the line is going to go from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1. If M is negative, it's going to go from quadrant 4 to quadrant 2. Now, how about A? Well, A, if it's positive, we are going to have a smiling face. It's a parabola with a smiling face. If A is negative, we are going to have sad face like this. So also, if you have visual memory, M and A, I put them always in orange because they are saying something about the graph, the same thing about the graph. The shape, the general shape of the graph is determined by the sign of M and the sign of A. So I'm going to stick to using C here instead of B, and I hope that it will make sense to you. All right, let's move on now. And what we are going to do, we are going to have equation instead of function. So instead of fx, I'm using here y equal 5x plus 10. They're both saying the same thing, whether we have fx or y, they are saying the same thing. So y equal 5x plus 10 was the value of y when x equal 8. I'm going to use this, put x equal 8 here. 8 times 5, 40, plus 10 is 50, and we are done. Also, I'm going to use this equation to solve a few problems. Here, what they said, if I give you y, what is x? Very easy. Put y equal 8, take 10 to the other side, divide everything over 5, and you end up with this result. Here, what's the slope of the graph of y equal 5x plus 10? Once again, we are going to use the same rules we have here, y equal mx plus c. M is the slope, so m equal 5 here. And for the y-intercept, it's going to be 10, is the value of y when x equals 0. So it's 10, or if you like to substitute x equals 0, and you end up with the same result. And finally, for this question, x-intercept is the value of x when y equals 0. So all what I need to do is just put y equals 0 and solve for x, and I end up with negative 2. All right, so what we did in this slide is just exactly what we did in the previous slide. The only thing, instead of using fx in this slide, we are using y. All right, so we look at this equation. It's not given to us as fx equal mx plus c, standard form, or y equal mx plus c. It's given to us in this form. Okay, I'm going to talk about this form a little bit later, but let's go ahead and solve this problem as is. Okay, they are asking for the x-coordinate of the x-intercept. Okay, we can do this. How we do this? We go back to the definition of the x-intercept is the value of x when y equals 0. So we put y equals 0 and we solve. So we put y equals 0, and out of this, we can end up with x equal 1 over 4 over 5. 1 over whatever we have here. All right, 4 over 5. Now, how do we handle this? We use this rule. A over b over c over d equal a over b, whatever we have here, times the reciprocal of this, d over c. Now here we have a over b, 1. So it's going to be 1 times d over c. So it's going to be 1 times the flip of this, which is 5 over 4, and we end up with 5 over 4. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this as a given and solve these problems with the value of y when x equal 20. Simply, we go ahead and we apply this. We put x equal 20 in the equation, and we end up with y equal negative 45. All right? So this is the value of y when x equal 20. Now, y is given. What is the value of x? Now we are going to use this one, and also we just substitute y equal 12, and we solve, and we end up with negative 15 over 4. This is the value of x when y equal 12. All right, next, what is the slope of the line? Well, if the equation were given to us, or the function given to us in this form, we just can pick up m directly. But it's not given to us in this form, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert this form into the form y equal mx plus c. And to do that, I'm going to go through a few steps. That's what I have, okay? And whenever you have fraction, this is my advice to you. Multiply both sides with the least common multiples of the denominator. The least common multiples of 3 and 5 is 15. So I'm going to multiply everything I have here with 15. Everything I have here with 15, just to get rid of this 5 and a 3 in the denominator. So 1 times 15 is this. 15 times 4 over 5. 15 over 5 is 3 times 4 is 12. 15 over 1 is 15 over 3 is 5. And we end up with this. It looks so beautiful. I take this 12x to the other side. Now I have negative 12x plus 15. And after that, what I need to do, I divide both sides over 5. I end up with this equation here. All right? And out of this equation, okay, this is my slope, straightforward. So it's going to be negative 12 over 5. Now, the next question, I can solve it based on this. If I did the headache of converting this form into this form, I pick up 3 directly. Or what I can do, I just go ahead, I use the definition here. The y-intercept is the value of y when x equals 0. I put x equals 0 here, and I find that y equal to 3. All right? So it goes both ways. So the way I solved for the slope and for the y-intercept and for the, even here for the x-intercept, I was using these rules here. Well, actually, this is another famous form for the linear equation. I'm going to show it to you here. It's ax plus by equal d. Ax plus by equal d. And here is the shortcut for you if you need to remember them. How to calculate c is the value of y when x equals 0. So you get rid of this, you just hide it, and your y is going to be d over b. And for the x-intercept, you hide the y because the value of x when y equals 0. And you calculate for x, which is d over a. And for the slope, if we are going to go through the steps of converting this into y equal mx plus c, that's what we'll end up with. And this is your slope, which is negative a over b, negative 4 over 5 over 1 over 3. And once again, you will need to use this rule here for doing fraction over fraction. All right, so far we talked about 3 types of equations and functions. Actually, the first 2 types are just identical. One of them fx equal mx plus c, and the other is y equal mx plus c. Same idea, same everything. All right. And this is the second type, and that's what I call this 2 here, number 2. All right, which is ax plus by equal d. And I show you how to solve it directly, or going back, rewrite it in the form y equal mx plus c. Or if you like, you can use the rules here. All right, let's move on to the next question. And in this question, you need to find the equation of the line. And as you see, the form here, we have y equal mx plus c. So our first step is just to find the slope. And the way to find the slope, if you follow this rule, it's the rise over the run. So I choose 2 points. I'm going to choose this point and this point, this point and this point. Actually, I can also choose this point and this point, or this point and this point, any point which is easy to read. All right. And I find the rise over the run. So here I have the rise, and here the run, and this is going to be 1 over 4. But the most important thing here, guys, is just to know the sign of the slope. Is it positive or negative? So we are going to use this. Anything goes from quadrant 1 to quadrant 3 is going to be positive. Anything goes from quadrant 2 to quadrant 4 is going to be negative. So obviously what we have here is a negative slope. So it's negative 1 over 4. If you take this point and this point, is going to be negative 2 over 8, which is going to be also negative 1 over 4. All right. So this is our slope. Now, according to this, to find c, you write y equal mx plus c, and we know m equal negative 4. And then we pick up this point. For example, we substitute the x and the y, and we find the c. But this question is easier than what this rule expected. Here we can read the y-intercept is the point where the line intercepts the y-axis. All right. So our point is going to be this one here at negative 1. So c is going to be negative 1, and this is the solution for this problem. All right. Let's move to the next question now. And what we have here, we have a graph given to us and a few questions regarding this graph. What's the value of x when y equals 6? Okay, this is the y, of course, and this is 6. So what we need to do is just to draw this horizontal line. It hit the line here. We go down and we read the value of x, and it's going to be negative 3. So we put it here. X equals 6 with the value of y. This is x. This is the x-axis. X equals 6. So we go up. We hit the line, and then we go horizontally, and we find that y equals 3. So it's going to be 3. What is the slope of the line? Here what we need just to apply this difference of y over difference of x. So I need to choose 2 points and find the rise over run for them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose these 2 points. The rise is 1, the run is 3. And once again, I need to pay attention to the sign of the slope. Is it positive or negative? Once again, I'm going to use this rule that we used previously. And it's going to be negative 1 over 3 because it's going from quadrant 4 to quadrant 2. So this is what we are going to do here. What's the y coordinates of the y-intercept? Visually, you can find it's 5 here. So here it is, and it's going to be 5. And finally, what's the x coordinates of the x-intercept? Visually, the line intercept the x-axis. That's what what's meant by this, by the way. At 15, so the answer is 15. All right. Notice that when we solved all of these questions, we didn't even have the equation of the line. We don't need the equation of the line. All right. Let's go to the next question now. And what we have here, we are giving the slope of a line, and we are given that it goes through 0.05, and we need to figure out the equation of the line. All right. So in the solution, you need just to remember that we can write the equation of the line as y equal mx plus c. And if you notice here, all of these are given in the format fx equal mx plus c. So we know m is equal 1 over 4. It's given to us, so I'm going to put it here. How about the c? The c is not given to us directly. There is nowhere that it's stated that the y coordinate of the y-intercept is blah, blah, blah. But it's given to us as a point. Point is 0, 5. It satisfies this. It's 0, 5. So 5 is the value of the y-intercept. All right. So they gave you the y-intercept indirectly. They didn't state it here so clearly. They said, okay, it goes through this point 0, 5, which happened to be the y-intercept. So c is equal to 5, and your answer should be this. All right. This is a very simple question taken from the College Board question bank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going just to give you a little bit different flavor of the same question. Let's assume the slope is still 1 over 4, but the point given to us is 1 over 5. So 5 is no more the y-intercept, because the y-intercept should correspond to the value of x equals 0. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to apply different things. If you are given 1 point and m, like in our case, we have 1 point and m, this is what we need to do. We are given m, so we can write the equation as fx equal 1 over 4. This is the m, the slope, x plus c. Now I need to find c. What's stated here, substitute the given point into the equation. So if I'm going to substitute 1 and 5, the only thing unknown would be c. So 1 will be here and 5 will be here. All right, I solve for c, it's 20, and the equation is going to be 1 over 4x plus 20. So this is a little bit more challenging question than this question. All right, guys, let's move to the next question. We are in question number 7 here. We are given 2 points, and we need to find the equation of the line that go through these 2 points. And the way to do it is just to calculate m first, and then we find c by substitution. But actually here we don't need to find c by substitution, because c by definition is the y-intercept. It's in the format 0c, or the value of y when x equals 0. So we already have it here, c equal 3. All right, directly. So we are able to get c directly. And out of this, we can know that these two are wrong. So I'm going just to put x's here. Now I need to find m. M is difference of y's over difference of x, as stated here. So it's going to be 31 minus 3 over 7 minus 0. You do the calculation, you end up with 4, and you find your answer to be this one. All right, guys. So this is everything I want to talk about in this video. I solved, maybe if you count them carefully, it's going to be like at least a couple dozens of questions. And the reason why I put so many questions in this video, because this video is the most important video in the domain of linear algebra. You need to understand 100% everything in this video. You need to view it again, try to solve those problems on your own. If I put some quizzes in the link below, go ahead and give them a try. Make sure that you understand everything here, because everything coming after this video is 100% related to the information I gave you in this video. You need to understand y equal mx plus c. You need to understand how to calculate m if you are given 2 points, or if you see it on the graph, if the graph is given to you for the line. and you need to figure out how to find C and the meaning of C, the meaning of the y-intercept, whether we are talking about the graph or we are talking about standard question in algebra. And also you need to understand what the x-intercept, and also you apply this knowledge whether a function or equation is given to you or whether the graph of a line is given to you. All right, guys, so this is my advice. I hope that you will follow it, and I'll see you in the next video whenever you're ready for it.
And that's it for today's topic. One more piece of the SAT Math Roadmap locked in. Every question you just saw comes straight from the College Board's own question bank. So what you just practiced is exactly what the real test looks like. But here's the thing. This video is the roadmap. Our full system is where you actually learn to navigate it. The link in the description has you covered, with comprehensive resources built for your target score and beyond. With that, let's look ahead. Our next lecture. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. And remember, we're just a message away on WhatsApp if you have any questions. See you in the next one.